All right, so this is 3.6 simple percents. So we're talking about percents, and all a percent is a ratio with a denominator of 100. You can also think of it as a fraction with 100 pieces in the whole. So when we talk about percents, we also are always talking about a part compared to a whole. And so we have our percent compared to our whole of 100 when we're talking about percents. So let's look at this example. What is 30% of 85? So I'm going to set up my two equal ratios, just like in this example right here. And I am given the number 30%. So that means that 30% means I have 30 as my part and 100 as my whole. And I want to know what 30 out of 100 is equal to how many out of 85. So 85 is my whole over here. So then I would put an x right here, and I would need to figure out what this value is going to be. So you already learned how to solve using cross products, and so you're going to go ahead and just do that with your proportion. So circle the cross products, and now I have 30 times 85 is equal to 100 times x. I'll simplify this. So 85 times 30 get 2,550 equals 100 times x. Then to find out what x is, I need to divide both sides by 100. And I get that x is equal to 25.5. So my answer is that 25.5 out of 85 is the same as 30 out of 100. Okay. The next example says find 125% of 18. So the first thing I notice here is that my percent is greater than 100. So that means that my part is actually bigger than the whole. So I've got 125, my percent, out of the whole is always 100 for percents. And I want to know if my whole was 18, how many parts I would have. And again, I know that has to be more than 18 because the part is more than the whole over here. I'm going to solve this using cross products the same way I just did over here. Should I work that out? Okay. So I'm going to take 125 times 18 equals 100 times x. And then over on a scrap, I'll do 125 times 18. Solve this by dividing both sides by 100. And I get that x is equal to 22.5. So 125% of 18 is 22.5. I'm going to think about that answer. 22.5 is more than 18, just like my part is more than my whole in the percent. So I'm good. Last example is what percent of 160 is 20? And this question is asking us something that's a little bit different. I'm going to erase. So it's saying what percent of 160 is 20? So we're looking now for the percent instead of for the part. So I'm going to fill in what I know. I'm going to fill in this ratio with what I know. So my percent is what I'm looking for. That's going to be x. My whole is always 100. And then I know that my whole over here is going to be 160. And that the part is 20. So now I'm going to solve this with cross products just like I did before. So 160 times x is equal to 20 times 100. 160 times x is equal to 2,000. And I divide both sides by 160. All right, so I'm going to find out what 2,000 divided by 160 is. Goes in once. So 12.5 is my answer. So that means that if I have 20 out of 160, that's having like 12.5 out of 100, 12.5%. All right, so this next one, 91.2 is what percent of 152? I'm going to draw that ratio, equivalent ratios that I had before, so I remember what goes where. Remember that you have your part over your whole is equal to the percent out of 100. So 91.2 is what percent of 152? That of tells me that this number is going to be my whole over here. So this is 152. Here's my part, 91.2. The question asks me what percent, so that's going to be an x. And then for percents, the whole is always 100. So I would solve this using cross products, which you know how to do. All right, the last example says 64.8 is 45% of what number? I'm going to use this ratio again. And remember, okay, so we have 45%. So that means 45 out of 100. And that's equal to the part, 64.8.